That's right. We're juggling. Hey, let me entertain you to the form and fashion that you have become accustomed to. Hello, Shadowhawk in the house. Of course, we've got LZ in the house. Light and gay, yeah. When we come to play, what the hey? How are you going to do us this way? Well, very easily. You know, you got to have been painting. Awesome. Got to get the coffee, man. The, the coffee, and got to get the link to send to Shadowhawk. Uh, just a memento. That's I think that's memento. Wouldn't that be Hispanic? Who knows? I know English. English, which is a much harder language to learn, right? Distant thunder in the background here. Uh, Billy Power Mac sending me a couple things. And how would it work tonight? Are you streaming Friday? I'm off Friday. That sounds good to me. Yes, Billy. I'm streaming Friday. What part of every day did you not get? That's what we do here. Stream every day. All right. Yeah. Now I have the link. Finished several paintings. Awesome. That's great. Uh, Eric and Boyd in the house. Howdy, one and all. Thunder here too. Yeah. Getting a little bit of thunder. Thunder, thunder, thunder. Memphis Coliseum. Don't miss it. Smackdown. Uh, hey, the Magnets are in. With well, let's start with last night. I went to work and my tablet wouldn't sync up with the truck. So she sent her daughter, the secretary sent her daughter down there. She lives pretty close, and she couldn't get it sync up. So I got 2 hours on the clock. I was only going to get about three and a half anyway. So went home and I was there for about an hour. So got 2 hours for being there an hour. And she asked me if I wanted to go to West Memphis today, and I'm like, yeah, of course. So I drove over to West Memphis in work truck, and I and Kai did, and he works days, and good kid, man, good guy, just straight out of high school by about a year or so, and yes sir, no sir, very polite, do anything you ask him to. Very nice young gentleman. I'm here instead of watching Omer. He is all alone. Ha 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 ha. Yes. Well, Omer's last cock block or whatever you want to call it, because I haven't watched any of it. Why? Because I've been gone. Shadowhawk was sort of a co-host over there, and I think Elsie was there for a little while. Mucho appreciato, Shadowhawk, for you kind of filling in over Omer's the time slot.
Yeah, we
But
thought it was going to be just a couple of weeks, and it ended up being a bit longer, but that's all right.
couple of months, right? Yeah, and lots happened since then. But I will still watch Homer. Just joking around. Yeah, don't pick on Homer. That's right. Elsie says. No, we love Homer here at a distance, but we love him. Uh, he deserves all our love and our adoration. Send him your money
Homer is
or
a
your
one.
loves and kisses. Huh?
Okay, how's my sound? How's my sound, Rex? Is it all screwed
It's
up? I got
okay.
my ear. Is it okay?
It's okay. It's all right. Yeah. What were
Uh,
you going to say?
I got my wireless ear things on. I forgot I had them, so I didn't know if my sound was messed up.
Yeah, I went to the white earbuds because I was getting less sound in one of them than the on the black set. So I went to the white set, which matches my octagon shirt very nicely, I must say. Uh, I tried to. We have to acknowledge Caleb Reynolds in the house. Love having the 4 o'clock shadow back, and we love being back. Uh, I have given Omer super chat, so you know he loves you. Yeah, back in the saddle.
Yeah.
Uh,
Caleb?
so I didn't get to work last night. If I had sprayed, Zone 7 is right across the street from our shed. So our work area. So it wouldn't have been a big distance. It's a big area, and I haven't done it that much. Rarely get that zone, but uh, today I went to West Memphis with Kai, and we dropped off a couple of trucks and picked up a couple of trucks on the way back. Of course, we have to have a way back, right? Uh, Service for different things, oil changes. Both sprayers were putting out too much chemical, which the day crew used to do that. None of us are really that are working now are versed in adjusting all that and working on all that. So if we have a problem, I guess we have to go to West Memphis to get it fixed. What I know, it's not my business. Not my business. My business is comics.
Tell them they want you to learn that shit. Give you a couple more bucks an hour and go learn how to adjust that shit. It's not that hard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe that's that octagon shirt is lit. Yes, it is. This was an extra added bonus. None of his supporters. You got one, right, Shadowhawk? I mean,
yeah, I got one.
Yeah, I mean, everybody that supported Octagon got a free T-shirt. Now that's a good freebie because these things aren't cheap. And he did these by hand. He screen printed, made the screen print, and did these by. There was one that was different, and that was his. And his was sort of a maroon red shirt. All the rest were black and white, which I think black is slimming, so it's a good choice. And Lord knows I need it. Eric says, just here for a brief bit. Got plenty to do this afternoon. Okay, well, you got time enough to see the new magnet that I picked up early this morning before we went to West Memphis. I didn't have to clock in until 8:30 instead of 8. And I know the printer opened up at 8. So I got there a few minutes after they opened up. One girl there, and I said, you got my magnets ready? And she's going to get on printing me 200 more sketch cards. Now, 50 of those I already have paid for, and the 150 is going to give me a price break of a nickel a piece, so that's good. Right on. That is why I'm here, Rex. Wow, you're here for the magnet. That is sad. Couldn't wait for us to start streaming again, and now he's like, I just want to see the magnet, and I'm out of here. I got stuff to do. Well, I'm glad I found this. I was just looking around for a business card, right? And this has rounded corners, and the magnet has rounded corners. She asked me, that was the last thing she asked me, do you want straight corners or rounded corners? I said, let's go with the rounded corners, So we did rounded corners. Yeah. This was the approximate size of the two magnets put together, business size. And, I did, so those magnets with the ash cam were quite small,
Yeah.
compared to this, which is very heavy duty. You were talking about, man, I mean, this thing is thick. I mean, it is a thick magnet, you can pick up chicks with this. But yeah, that would have been about the size of the two magnets that we did previously. But look at this thing. Look how big that thing is. That's nice and big. I mean, that's probably going to be the biggest magnet in crowdfunding history. That's pretty big. When you, maybe not. Am I going to have to go large?
That ain't bigger. chili is the one that Andy did. It's probably about twice.
Oh, who did? Andy Smith? Oh, okay. I thought I had him beat.
It's about the same width, but it's about 2 of those tall. So.
Okay. Heck yeah, great bonus. Elsie says, right on. It's why I'm here, Rex. Let's see. Laugh out loud. I'm here for you as well, Rex. Gay, not gay. Yeah, I decided it's going to be just a space down here anyway. So why not put the logo and some branding? That way people won't look at it 2 years and go, who did this? I'm not even sure, you know?
Good idea.
I think I would have extended the lines out, but she didn't.
Bleed out.
Yeah, bleed. But they look good. Rob Ewing, the artist on this, and I'm glad I found this business card. It was sitting in there. I didn't know if I had one. It's Bo and Phil, owners of Truman, Arkansas, where I go Poor Boys Auction and Sales. Now, one of these guys, I picked this up years ago when I worked for Mickey, and they've got some pretty good deals. Like I bought my air fryer for $45 there at the auction house. That's when I was making about the first week I worked for Mickey, I made about maybe $1,200 or something like that, $1,300, because I was putting in a lot of hours. Really, too many hours even back then for me to work. But I was doing like 126 hours. But he was medical needy and needed me then. And these other pikers weren't showing up for work that he was hiring, you know. I'm like, don't hire them because they're your friends and need a job and they're deadbeats. That's why they need a job, you know. Sharpie will extend. Will extend the bleed through. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
But these are. I got the box and I went, whoa, that's heavy. You get a box of 100 of these babies, and it's like platinum. It's heavy.
Yeah.
Magnets are heavy. Huh?
They're like a little box full of lead.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like I'm going to pick up bookmarks or something, you know, something lightweight. This was actually pretty. I mean, it wasn't extremely heavy, but it was heavier than what I thought when she gave it to me. It was like, wow.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Stuck together. But yes, Eric and Boyd, our contest winner. One more item. Of course, this was our stretch goal. You'll be getting one of these soon, along with everything else in the campaign. Can't wait till you get it and show it off, maybe on an X or somewhere. Maybe do a video. Hey, great content. Do a video. Good to see everyone. Alas, poor year. I gotta go. Have a great afternoon and evening. You too, Eric. We stopped, used the bathroom, got some gas. His truck needed gas. I don't know how much. And I thought, well, I'll top my tank off too. And the spray rig, you know, I didn't want to fill it up too much, but I put a little in here. And I was like, man, this is taking more. Those big Colorado trucks, more than what I thought. I think altogether I put about $33 worth in the truck. I was like, wow, you know, which ain't cheap nowadays, as you well know.
Right.
Gas is not too bad around here. And I think I've talked to you. Gas is actually pretty reasonable there where you're at. We're fortunate, really.
I'd like to see it lower. Don't get me wrong, but it's
sure.
not
We'd
terrible.
like to see $3 gas or lower. Absolutely. You know, everybody's begging for $3. How about $2.87 or something like that when Trump first took office back? That and when Obama left office, that's what was it? Oh, you know, under Obama, it got up to $4 and something. He's got like the peak. You know, you had truckers that couldn't do their job because of diesel, but diesel costs. we won't go into all the politics and stuff. It's like, yeah, hopefully this thing will resolve itself. I think we're just going to have to go in there and get the plutonium. If he doesn't want to do anything major right now, he just needs to. I don't know. They keep attacking their neighbors and stuff and stirring up trouble. I don't see how you don't just go in there and decimate them at this point. Or you kind of put it off to after the midterms. That's what everybody's talking about, the midterms. J.D. Vance says, I think it was Trump said, I really don't care about the midterms. And I don't think that's exactly true out of him,
No, but, the right thing to say.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to tell the enemy or anybody else your whole playbook. I think some people are, these politicians, they get a nugget of information and then they blathe it all over, trying to look like the big wheel or to subvert who they don't like, who's in office or whatever. And it just undercuts America. And used to, whether you disagreed with the president or anyone, you backed his play anyway, to a certain degree. You might have disagreed with him, but you didn't try and subversively. All that's went out of the window, I would say, with in open air, plain air, with Obama. He was just open about it, open about, if you were paying attention, trying to de-seat the prime minister in Israel and all kinds of stuff, affect election. And that's not the commander in chief's job, no matter who's in there, whether there's a DR or an I behind their name, I for independent, which I don't think we'll ever get. It's a one-party system. Yes, God bless America. We are in the greatest nation of the world, no doubt. We might have our disagreements and whatnot. Happy belated birthday to Ryan James. I did talk to him yesterday on his birthday and have texted him today. And he says, when the flats are done, I was trying to get a little nugget out of him, to show today. How's the coloring coming? I said, I hope you had a great birthday yesterday. And he said, yeah. And I even got in a little bit of coloring, a little bit of flatting on the Devil Flyer double page spread that he's working on. So he's almost got the flats done. And then he'll go in there and put the highlights and the shading and everything else in it. And that was an unexpected thing, because I really wasn't expecting to take it to the next level. I'm glad he did. That was a good call. And he'll be paid accordingly. Because when you get that group of many characters there just in black and white, it's hard to discern, what you're looking at without color added in there, filling in the blanks for you. So, and very impressive indeed, I think, with the big portal behind them and everything colored. Not your, let's see, it does not matter. He is your president, not your king or pastor. Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't that late today, Shadowhawk. Come on.
I
Get the guy right. Yeah, I know. You are the kidney stone in my liver.
That's in your liver. Oh, my liver.
Well, that would hurt.
That would be unusual. Yeah.
They say, have you seen the food things where you have the food looks like what you should eat for your organs, like a walnut? You know what a walnut looks like, and they say that's good brain food.
Yeah, I've seen. I don't know how much truth there is for that, but sure.
Well, what I was going to say was kidney beans, and I do eat some kidney beans occasionally.
Uh-huh.
I'm not afraid of them. Vegetables, not so much for me. Okay, if it's green, but beans, I can. I mean, there are some beans probably that I don't eat. I mean, chickpeas or I don't know, lima beans for sure. But who likes lima?
Well, technically, beans aren't vegetables.
Technically, what?
Beans aren't vegetables. They're legumes.
John getting back with me because I was saying, I need to turn in my tax return, and he said you could get tax forms. Don't know if they still got any for this year, for last year, but I probably do. But you can get your tax form at the DMV, and that's not too far from here. And if I got one of those, I thought I would talk to the secretary and say, okay, I got 2023. This is, and I already did 2000. I had H&R Block do 2024. So I need last year's and 2023. And there's 2 tax returns that I can get, and maybe pay right. Who knows? Or pay somebody else with, last week. Huh?
I can't believe you just let it sit there this long. You're getting a refund, man. Get that shit.
I get it, but I master procrastinator. What can I say? If you want to know the truth, but okay, really need it now to get stuff produced and get stuff mailed and everything. So it's a good time to get a couple, maybe $1,000 back or whatever, right?
Right. Yeah. I get it.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And they could solve the problem. Just Trump, give us $2,000, like you said. If he would give us $2,000, I was like, woohoo!
Yeah.
I can be a gatekeeper for $18 in Marion, Arkansas. Went to Marion today because that's where our trucks were. Ever since I went to Atlanta, the guy put on my phone all these job listings, all these potential jobs. And like there's a gatekeeper for like maybe a guard, kind of like Apex Comics stuff. I don't think you were on yesterday when I showed this. Look at that. That was in my front yard. Big crow feather. I mean, big. Look at that. I could sharpen that and write with it like Benjamin Franklin. Yeah.
Could be a raven. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got some big crows around here.
Yeah. You ever see any ravens around there? No.
In the house. Hello, Bone.
Hey, Bone.
Since Bone and a couple other people have come in, here is the magnet once again that we had made. A big thing, not credit card size by any means. This would be credit card size right there. So that shows you pretty big magnet. But you say I got Andy Smith. Really, this is about as big as you want to go. This is big. This covers a lot of area.
Hold on.
You go to pry this thing off, and you're going to go, oh, freezer door. Because metal plate in my head. Oh,
right here, man. If you look, it's probably about the same length, but it's about twice the
oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Let me embiggen. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So this is to put all that scenery on one magnet. That is a big magnet. And that one above it, I've got that Dan Fraga magnet, and I've got the Incredible Comics thing you had up there. I've got a few of those on my refrigerator. I didn't see the Devil Flyer or the Momentum.
Oh, because those are over here.
Where are they at? Let's see.
Yeah, on the front of it. Yep.
All right.
Hold on.
Switch that thing around. Let's see that thing. Let's see that
I'm
magnet
on that.
collection.
There it is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
look at that. There you go. That's basically business card size and cut in two. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I like the little dog up there. That's hilarious. Little smiling
You and
dog.
Magnet.
Oh
I
yeah,
got a
Billy
big.
Tucci. Yeah.
We got the Fed.
Crusader
We
Knight.
got Chuck. Got
Oh yeah,
Crystal
that's good.
Bread.
Belmont did a good one. Yeah.
Only Death Can Save Us. Maverick.
Oh, is that what that is? That's cool.
Yeah.
Mavericks, yeah.
Only Death.
That's a cool.
Ryan.
I like
Yeah, I think
Ryan, yeah, I've got that one on my refrigerator. Yeah. Octagon Comics.
Little Bitty Reaper Destroyer.
I think he made those up by himself, those magnets. I'm not sure, but I bet he did. Yeah, I've got the little Reaper Destroyer one. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's Dojo Coon. That's Dojo Coon's character. What was the character's name?
Projectile Reptile.
Projectile Reptile. There you go. There's your representation, your lizard representation for today, Lorenzo. Yes. I always wonder if I'm going to get that in or not, but there we go. Projectile Reptile. Yeah, I mean, I've been wondering about Dojo, what's going on in his universe. But then I'm not up on the crowdfunders right now. Who's doing what and on what platform? You know, the larger ones like Bronze Star 2, you hear about, but some of these smaller ones, not so much. You know, sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen them posting here and Instagram or X, but I haven't heard anything about any new projects or anything.
Well, I took I'll be backing at least Galaxy Memorial Park. When I chimed in and looked, they had a couple of backers. I with Levi and JD, even if they don't get funded, I believe they will fulfill. You know, that's important to know. You know, I think, and hopefully they'll get funded. But very early on in the campaign, they had like 2 backers, and over there on Fund My Comics. So, want to help them. Now, one thing, I kind of looked over the campaign. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I said they just launched on Monday, so I mean that's not great, but it's not terrible.
Yeah. You had kind of looked over your copy when you got it, and it had a printing error in it in the cover and maybe the back sheet or something like that, and that was unfortunate. That's all we said about it. And but they got a tier offering that with a Levi sketch, a head sketch of one of their characters, and you can contact Levi and if you have a favorite character from issue 1, and he take requests, and draw that character for you in that rare. I mean, I don't know what their print run was, but I think they had 30 something backers on the first campaign, something like that. So that's pretty neat, using your overages that had a very slight, really didn't detract that much, from the book. And they came back and did a second, I guess you call a second printing, whatever. I mean, a first printing. They reprinted it, but they sent you got 2 books for one, basically. One corrected, one with the error in there, but using some of those with a head sketch, I think that's pretty smart. I think that's cool. You got a favorite character, Levi, I'll draw it for you in there, for not very much.
I don't think I got a second one. I think they're mad at me. So, no.
Oh, you didn't get a second one? You didn't get a corrected issue?
No,
Really?
because I was the one. I was the one that pointed out the error. I think JD or Levi got mad at me. One or the other.
Well, I mean, I'm grateful as a consumer that you did. I'm sure it cost them money to go and print them again, but you know,
Been said at the time it was very minor. It's not something.
Now, but I know Pops came to the channel and he got
Reading.
in the chat and he got mad at us, at both of us. But then I think he stays mad at both of us. And if you're listening to this, Pops, come on, chill out, man. We loves you. We keep you at arm's length, but we still loves you.
I don't know. I pop into some of the chats over there every once in a while. You know, I'll say hi or whatever.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
I haven't recently, but then, you know, occasionally I will. I know, you know, I went into yesterday to Kitty Flip's channel, and I went into Doc's channel because today they had on that Dimmerfoot. They had Wagner on with Dimmerfoot talking about that, and I gave the first comment on both channels, which I think that's part of the Madness Network, isn't it?
How did Darren end up? Did he end up getting that funded this time around?
You're talking to Mr. Ben Gone, and I don't know.
Well, you said you were over there because they had him on. I figured they might have mentioned it.
No, they didn't have him on. This was like they had set it up on both channels to have him on today. Earlier today, and I went in there early and left the first comment.
I got it. Okay.
I do that from time to time. You know, if I know I'm probably not going to make it, like today I was probably working, you know, then I go in there and let them know that they're appreciated and say hi and participate. I try, folks. I try. I'm called a hater, but you'll never see a little Charlie Chaplin mustache under this nose. That just kind of drives some people nuts. Hey, own up to it. Anyway, yeah, we don't hate on anybody here. I and Shadow have laid down the hate a long time ago, for the most part. Now, we hate on each other, but that's because we're brothers.
Yeah, that's it.
But then, you know, I'll come back and say, hey, I will send with your next box this crow feather if you really want it. Because he's into birds, you know. There is another Shadowhawk on the internet. Now, I've talked about this before. There is somebody else. And I searched, you know, I went into my history, and I haven't watched one of your videos in a while. I hadn't watched anybody's videos in a while, right? I've been off. So I tried to find your channel, and it wasn't there. I hope I'm not unsubscribed. I will find it. I did a search, but Shadowhawk is very general. Do a search of Shadowhawk, and you'll get a lot of image, a lot of other pretender Shadowhawks. It's you're not the only one using Shadowhawk on YouTube, you know.
Right. But to find the videos, it's going to be under Shadowhawk Facts or Shadowhawk Talk, one or the other. It's not just Shadowhawk.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll put that in my search parameter, and maybe I'll find you this time. After scrolling through a lot, I did not find you. But I don't know why you were in weren't in my subscribe history section. You know, usually you're right there, and maybe YouTube, the bastards, unsubscribed me. I don't know. But I'll have to investigate further.
Those suckers.
Mr. Plum in the kitchen with the revolver. Get a clue, loser. All right. Well, yeah, happy. Is that TV or radio? That sounds like a strange man in your living room.
Yeah, somebody
Shadowhawk
stopped by.
Talks. Okay. Shadowhawk Talks, says Elsie. Shadowhawk Talks. Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad to have found this business card because that's to the auction house. And I would like to go down to the auction house and, or at least go to Marion again. The way we were trying to go, we would go to the VA in Memphis and then try and get back over there to Marion. And it was always confusing to me. But if I went to Marion, it's not that big a place. It's laid out. It's out there, but it's he's got comics, or did have a box of comics. They weren't in tip top shape. They weren't bad. There was some stuff that I had back in the day that I lost in my fire. Didn't have a lot of money when I went. In fact, but I always like to check that because he gets comics, and I'd like to go back there. Really, when Mickey died, he came and showed up, and for some reason, Mickey bought these. I think they were nailing guns or staple guns, something like that, right? For construction.
Okay.
At auction. And he come to pick them up and said, I will, put them up for auction and give you the money and all that. But Mickey died, so I guess he got his merchandise back and got to pocket that money or resell them.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's about $150 or something like that, I guess. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, those nail guns are cheap.
Yeah, I think they were nail guns. He had like 6 nail guns, professional nail guns.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, even used, it's probably about $100 a pop.
Yeah, and these were brand new in the box, so.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you could get some pretty good money.
Yeah, that now you're bringing it back to me. There were 6 of them, and about 100 a piece. So, about $600 worth of nail guns. And Mickey died before he got anything out of that,
Oh, damn.
That's where I got that nice mattress from. Mickey bought it and it didn't fit on his bed right or whatever. And I'd said that I wanted it. And, if he wasn't going to use it. And it took him a little bit to come around to that. But he's like, hey, Rex, you want that mattress? And I said, yeah, I'll just take it out of my paycheck, out of my hours. And it's like $350. But that's like an $1,800, $1,900 mattress. So, for the Rex. Look, if you want a good deal, Elsie will find a good deal under every rock. He will just lucky. My cousin.
Oh, shit, hold on. I'll be right back. Looking for me.
Okay. But Elsie gets some great deals and negotiates good deals. My cousin was the same way when we went arrowhead hunting. He would find every arrowhead before I would even see it. One time we were out, he even found a 1,800 something silver dollar, didn't even have dust on it. And it's like, what is this gleaming in the sun and sitting on the top of the ground 20 feet away, and my cousin sees it? Silver dollar. That guy was just falling easy. But yeah, I would like to go down. When I went to spray the other night, I know where the auction house is. It's on the main strip. I go by it and spray it where they congregate. It's just, I don't know. It's an older building, and they just have overages. I don't know where they get all the stuff from, right? But I got a good deal on that air fryer, $45, and you never know what they're going to have. I'm still using dishwashing liquid. I bought like 6 big things. I don't know, a bunch of big things of dishwashing liquid there, because I was making pretty good money, and even if I didn't have my paycheck, I could say to Mickey, cover me, I'll reimburse you out of my check,
Right.
It was a short gig, only 6 months, but I was making pretty good money those first 4 months.
But yeah, I mean, you can find really good deals where you can buy in bulk. Might as well do it as long as it's non-perishable stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. All kinds of stuff. A lot of it came from Walmart, other places, I guess. But
Yeah.
Mickey was the big auction guy, that would buy up a lot of the stuff, a lot of the lots. In fact, he would say, "What he got left, I'll buy it." Whatever. He would come home with a lot of stuff that he didn't need. His sister thinks he had the onsets of dementia or whatever. One time we went into the car place. I guess something to get something in his car. And he was bragging about, I could buy that brand new car if you want it. I got the money to do it. And yeah, man, he was a frugal millionaire, whatever.
Right.
It's like, yeah, you don't have to prove anything to me. He was only paying me $10 an hour, but I was getting a lot of hours. I was sleeping there. I was basically living there for like the first 4 months. I lived with him till we got his medication figured out, which was keeping him up, and he was over medicated and all kinds of stuff. And then the one weekend, the Labor Day weekend, I didn't show up. I find him dead, 2.5 days later. And he still looked like he might have been alive, till you turned him over, and then it's like, woof, Glad we didn't wait more than 2.5 days. I'm glad his house was. And then that one girl that he hired on, she still had the code. She had the audacity to come in and steal a few things from his house. She got caught. She was such a piker. I tell you what, I'd never seen the like.
Yeah.
Some people just love to bitch and moan and live off the system. That's the best way I can summarize that person. She was laying down on the job when I came in. She was actually sleeping and expecting to get paid. That's when he fired her. Said, you're not getting paid. But it wasn't until I got mad. He put me over hire and fire and his sort of in his best interest,
Right.
I mean, the other guy, I kind of felt for him too, that he hired on. I gave him plenty of warning. Hell, he wasn't waking up. He was letting Mickey sleep basically, and he was sleeping until about 1:30. I said, you hadn't even got the morning paper off the stoop. You've done nothing to earn your money. 1:30 in the afternoon, you haven't got the paper. You're just sleeping here and collecting a check. He had what was it? Oh, he had a double lung replacement 8 months prior to that.
Oh, shit.
Double lung replacement.
That's pretty crazy.
That was before COVID, by the way. But
yeah,
we left on good terms, but I gave him plenty of warning. I really did. I gave him plenty of warning, let him know if you don't straighten up, you're going to get fired. He didn't care. If you don't care, you can't do anything with a person like that, And that's why I was getting so many hours, because I was filling in for these deadbeats that were late or didn't show up at all. Like I said, for like 4 months there, I was living with him, After about a month, we got his medication worked out. And I kind of eased into it, but then I saw, I'm going to have to take a greater hand, even over the medication, and figure out what's going on, because he was like he would call me like every 5 minutes there for a while, I'm working like a dog and hardly getting rest at night, but got well paid for it. I mean, only $10 an hour, but you're darn tooting. I told him, you're darn tooting. If I'm here, I'm sleeping. Even if I'm sleeping, I'm still available for you to call in there, and frequently you do. I'm going to get paid for that time. I'm not just going to, give you that time. Hell no. I'm still on call. That's only fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of a cheapskate in a way, you know. He had it. He had. Well, I shouldn't say anymore.
Yeah.
He was a good guy. I
He got
missed him. Okay, you know, he
how he got
graduated
million.
local here. He had awards all over his house. You know, he was a tennis player at the local country club.
No,
So he was out there on the circuit. He played doubles. He had a good partner when playing tennis, and they bought a bunch of and did a lot of charity work. You know, he had a lot of things like from Easter Seal and other awards. You know, from local around town. So, and now that I remember, you know, he was the bartender at the Moose Lodge, and I remember him. Now that I really think about it, I remember not being that impressed as a young man, you know, with the bartender because he wasn't that personable, you know.
no,
And I just came to have a drink and meet girls and have a dance or two, you know, have a good time.
right. There you go.
And who wants a sourpuss bartender? And now
No,
they had bouncers there. If you caused trouble, they had three big, you know. All right, my name's Lou Ferrigno. You know, they were,
right.
and I know one of the guys. He was at least a 6th-degree black belt. They could kick your ass. You know, most people's ass. Let's put it
That
that way.
that's big.
They were big and into the martial arts, and they
Night,
were
Elsie.
about. Have a good night, Elsie. I don't know what he meant by cheap bulk is best.
Oh, and I'm saying it's like you're talking about buying the, you know, the 6 giant things of uh, the laundry detergent or dish soap, one or the other.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
get a chance to buy them in bulk.
Yeah, I mean, I got it cheap, like these big bottles, maybe for I don't know, maybe $1 a piece. I think. I mean, big, and I'm still using them. I mean, I don't use, you know, I wash my dishes by hand and wash my hands when they get greasy. You know, if I'm dealing with something like CDs to put in the DVD, you don't want to have greasy hands, or you know, or dealing with magnets, you know, or something you don't want to get greasy.
Right.
Artwork. Uh, but other than that, I don't. Yeah, I bought. You know, I bought all that detergent when I worked for Jan and was getting paid daily. It lasted me for 2.5 years. I think I got like 13 of those large, very large liquid detergents.
Right. Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
lasted me. But I got them for
Yeah.
$5 a piece. $5 a
That's a,
piece.
yeah.
It would do like what, 48 loads or 42 loads, something like that.
Yeah, I
Huge.
forget how many. Yeah,
And
on
it was the
bottle,
liquid.
but
I like to use the liquid. The dry sometimes doesn't always, you know, you get the powder. Doesn't always.
yeah, don't dissolve. Sometimes you get a little
Doesn't always
stuff on
dissolve. It gets caught in folds of the clothing or something. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been. I think that's all we use. I mean, for liquid soap, laundry. Yeah, we don't use.
How would you know? You never do laundry. I see her back there loading up that dryer. That one time.
No. I wasn't.
I said, man, you got. I think that's when you were first introducing me to, or first time she came on camera. You know, got on camera, and it was like, man, you got the poor girl slaving. She works all day and comes home and does laundry. Ah, well, that's family life for you. I know. I used to have 3 girls in the house plus a wife. You know, it's and plus my own clothing. Of course,
girls been. Well, I've been laid up. I said the girls have been, you know, doing extra shit around here since I've been laid up. So I appreciate them.
Well, that's good.
So,
did they give you crutches? Did they give you a walker? What did they do?
Yeah, I was on a walker for the first, I don't know, month and a half, like up
Yeah.
to about 5. And then they wanted me to use a cane. I used the cane for about 2 days. It's like, fuck that thing, and just started walking. So, I mean, I'm still walking slow. I can't move quickly, but
Right.
I can walk.
Well, you know how you put your weight. I mean, sometimes I'll wrench my knee or something just by turning wrong, a little bit.
Oh,
Just depends. Like, whoa, that
yeah,
didn't feel good. I mean,
even,
just an
you know,
everyday usage.
yeah, even uneven ground. You're walking outside in the yard or something, you turn an ankle or whatever, you're in a hole. It's easy to do.
Yeah, well, I was glad that I went out Tuesday to spray a little bit on Tuesday, but I was looking. At first they said no, we're not going out. I thought, good, I can I can be on topicless and do a little drawing, and then they called us in or whatever. They changed their mind, and I got to work, so that's good. Work while I
Yeah,
can because here we are at the end of May already, going into June. Memorial Day was on the calendar, was on the 21st this year. That is the earliest that it can be. And next year will be the latest. It'll be the 31st of May next year. Because
yeah.
Memorial Day is one of those holidays that shifts around.
Mm-hmm.
And the only
Yeah,
reason I know that is I heard that on the radio today while I was traveling.
I had no idea.
Yeah, Memorial Day was on the 21st, the earliest it can be this year. But next year it'll be at its latest peak, which is the last of the month, 31st. So Memorial Day is either between 21 or 31. 10 days there.
Huh.
Isn't that something?
That's a,
It can vary on the calendar that
that's what I'm
much.
saying. That's pretty compared to other holidays. I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird. I still don't know exactly how that works.
Like July 4th, that doesn't shift. Christmas doesn't shift. Thanksgiving doesn't shift. You know,
Yeah.
Groundhog Day doesn't shift. Labor Day, I don't know about Labor Day. It probably shifts like Memorial Day.
I'm not sure.
My birthday today, I believe, this year will be on a Monday. I think this year. I think I looked on the calendar. It falls on a Monday. I think last year it fell on a Saturday. What day did you? And I did a short to tell you happy birthday. I'm sorry that I wasn't here in March for your birthday to do a stream with you, but
as well you should. No, that's it's all good. But I think it fell on Saturday this past year. This year.
Okay. It's good when it's good when it falls on the weekend.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And what was the date? And what refreshed my memory? What was the date of your knee surgery, your knee replacement? What was the date?
March 23rd.
March 23rd.
2 weeks.
Okay, so after your birthday.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you're getting some relief from that bone-on-bone pain.
And now it's just screw and bone pain. The thing is healing into the bones and stuff. It's definitely a different feeling. It's not as bad. Like I said, I can walk. I don't have to worry about I don't feel like my leg is just gonna collapse out from under me anymore.
Yeah.
But still a lot of pain. I mean, it's gonna be a while. But
yeah, going to be a while. That's pretty invasive surgery, but you're more confident once you heal up that you'll be steadier on your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for everything to be, completely as good as it can get will probably take almost a year.
Yeah. What are you gonna do for dinner tonight? Have you thought about
Don't
that?
know yet. No, Mama Hunt just got home right before the show started, and then we hadn't talked about it yet. So I don't know. He was
Yeah,
at the
but
store yesterday. Sure, we got some chili soup.
when we stopped at that bodega, they had some nice knives. They had like a little fountain pen like knife, about $8.
Uh,
They had a double bladed like batarang blade, two blades out on the side making the wings.
okay.
If I'd had my phone with me, I'd taken a picture of them. Uh, it's
Well,
one of those stops outside of West Memphis. They had like Elvis Presley shot glasses and little
yeah.
Arkansas shot glasses and stuff. And I thought about my sister because she had a bunch of shot glasses, but she sent them to me. She says she's got another package for me now. She's getting rid of some stuff
No,
uh, again, and it's got me
now
a
you got
small
that.
piece. Got me some swag. But they had a Punisher knife that was kind of like a straight knife. They had some pretty good armament type knives. I mean, they had two cases full of, but they had a Punisher knife and a Batman knife, a double bladed type thing that was,
Right.
I guess you could hold in the middle and stab two ways. I don't know. Uh,
There you go.
it was pretty neat. The Batman knife was about $20. I think maybe the Punisher was maybe about 15. Wasn't bad. Uh,
Yeah, that's
Elsie
okay.
gave me one Punisher knife that he bought a couple of them somewhere. He gave me one of those. I've still got brand new. Uh, but I still haven't bought a trimmer. You had talked about getting a little trimmer
Oh yeah.
and
Get
really
you one of
like
them
it.
new batteries, but they're nice and light. The batteries last for a good long time, especially when you're just trimming. Uh, yeah,
Uh-huh.
you like it.
I don't know what has happened to my yard man. I don't know if I have a phone number for him or not, but I wonder if he had a heart attack or what. I really don't know what happened. It's I mean, my yard's kind of getting grown up, although he cut it so low, and it's been we hadn't gotten a lot of rain, and I kind of like the flowers out there for the bees and stuff. Um, that I wouldn't mow my yard as often as he mowed my yard. Really, I keep come every 2 3 weeks and mow it down real short, and I don't really need it that short or manicured. It gets dusty back there in the background. I do have some bare spots. I would rather let it go a little bit. So I've been letting it go. Now my neighbor across the street, he's an older man, says I don't have a lot of things to do or whatever, and he's always I hear his mower and I look out because it's very noisy. He offered to mow it, and I may take him up on that, but I'm going to wait a little while. I'm not going to wait till it's so thick. It's a big major job to do, but I'll wait a little bit longer. But I'm afraid something's happened to my yard guy, my regular yard guy. I may have to find an alternative, or at least have this guy mow it once, and then we'll see where that takes us. Because once it gets dry in the summer, it really doesn't grow that much, and I can live with it a little bit long. I know I've got those major, like two branches down that fell on that concrete platform to drag around front. I've just been waiting for it to get dry enough out there to drag them around front for the city to pick up. Uh, Big trees, and when the limbs fall out, it's like it could hurt or kill you big time. Pretty big branches. I had one fall out of that tree that I kind of coaxed out of that tree because it was dead. 15 foot, at least 15 foot. The yard guy, I didn't even ask him, but he came back that first time after the winter and hauled it off. I couldn't even walk it around front. It was so big. I just put it on the back patio that I don't use.
He probably just brought his little dude in the back of the truck.
Yeah, he probably mulched that thing up. I don't know, or throw it in a ditch somewhere for me, But that was going above and beyond. He just probably attached a chain to it and pulled it with the mower. But by and large, he's a good guy and does a good job. But I just haven't heard from him this year, and I just wonder what happened to it.
Yeah.
An overweight guy works hot in the hot sun. He's got a big old brim hat he wears. But
who knows, dude? I mean, something might have happened to him over the winter.
I got one of his business cards, or maybe I'll have to ask my mom. Do you have a business card from him? She might have one, and maybe try and give him a call. I don't know. We always just kind of mailed him. I guess I could write him a letter, mail in payment. Mrs. G in the house. Hi guys, how are you feeling, Shadow?
Pretty good, dude. I go back to work on June 8th.
Oh, June 8th. Okay. I was thinking it was sooner than that.
I was going to try to go back next Monday for the 5th, but I'm just not going to be able to make it, I don't think. So.
Yeah. So do you have to go to the doctor and send them a doctor's notice on that or something?
Yeah, I was at the doctor's for therapy yesterday anyway, so I talked to the nurses and everything, and he already has my paperwork all ready to go. I just got to pick it up. I go back for therapy again on Tuesday next week, so I'll pick it up.
Who knows what you're going to run into once you go back to work.
Right. Well, I sent them
hopefully it won't be too bad. Hopefully they haven't made a total crapper of the place while you've been gone.
I don't know what I'm going to be looking at, but I sent an email to the boss. Was it yesterday? I got something back from him today saying, "Well, I'm going to need a note from your doctor and blah 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 before you come back." I'm like, yeah, I'm aware of that. I'll stop in next week sometime and drop you off a copy of the release.
Bitch Wife Wine Club, she came in one of my earlier streams a few days ago and celebrating, she was traveling with Mr. G, celebrating their 30th wedding anniversary, Shadowhawk.
Oh, congratulations, guys.
Yeah, 30 years of marriage, not killing each other.
Mama Hawk and I just had our 20th.
That's awesome. Without killing each other.
Yeah. I've had many times over there. Like one of those old cartoons, the water, and it just starts coming out like a sprinkler.
Yeah. Yeah, Miss G says she hasn't buried any bodies yet.
No.
Got your children in college and all that, though. So hopefully you got some good cuisine. What's the latest on a second cookbook, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Inquiring minds want to know.
I might even need me another cutting board. I still haven't used the first one. It's too pretty to use. I don't. It's still in the bubble wrap.
I don't blame you. Isn't that a wooden chopping block?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mrs. Good said the laser engraver. She did my Shadowhawk avatar.
Yeah, flying
engraved on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm flying feline.
It came out great. It was wonderful. She does some comic, stands for conventions and stuff out of wood. I'm gonna have to commission her to do me a couple, because once Devil Flyer comes in, I'll probably do some local conventions, and we'll need something like that.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
So we'll see about
And
that.
might as well support our good friend over there.
She says we're focusing on our garden this summer and hoping to harvest some, create some new recipes. That's cool. What have you got
Cool.
planted? Tomatoes, probably. Uh, Maybe some cabbage. I don't know. What you got? Lettuce. What you got planted this year, Mrs. G? In your new house because they moved. They kind of downsized.
Right, right.
Later in life, you kind of got to do that sometimes. Mike Gustovich did that with his wife. He moved and they kind of downsized and said, "This will be our final house of our lives
Yeah,
that we
well,
move into." So I hate to move.
2, 3, 4, and you don't need a house for a big 6 or 2 people anymore.
Yeah,
We're raising a
absolutely.
family in the
I
house.
just feel it with collectibles and say I never want to move again.
But you already have. What are you talking about?
I did, yes, but I don't want to do it again. Moving's a bitch. It really is. I hate it. I love it.
They're going to be big there with an excavator, right? The books are all going to collapse upon you.
Maybe
You're going to be able
man found death by vivisection by his comics. I don't know, paper cuts all over. Tomatoes. Mrs. G says tomatoes, broccoli, cucumber, green beans, potatoes, spinach, lettuce, onions, and a whole slew of herbs and peppers. Yeah. I got a new herb book at Always for $3. The Essential Book of Herbs. So I'm not saying I'll build a garden, but there are some things that you can buy out of your grocery store, like potatoes, uh, strawberries, and other things. You can use the seeds, and start your own garden for sure, even in a bucket. There's a lot of YouTube things out there about that. Some in a greenhouse, some outside. Yeah, they got little mini greenhouses that you can buy too with shelving. I would like to do onions, but onions you have to kind of harvest and dry. You know, it's a process. It's more potatoes. Potatoes, anybody can grow potatoes. Uh, See, tomatoes I wouldn't like. Broccoli I wouldn't like. Cucumbers I wouldn't like. Uh, Only like cucumbers if they're pickles, if they've been pickled. Uh,
right.
Love fried pickles. Green beans are okay, but I've got a whole freezer full of green beans. Potatoes, absolutely, those carbs. Spinach, not so much. No, it's green. Lettuce, yeah, I mean lettuce. I've learned to like lettuce a little bit. Uh,
I mean, lettuce is just,
Onions, I love onions.
it's a way to get dressing.
You do the cucumbers specifically for pickles, yeah. That's cool. And then you can make them hot or regular, whatever, right? I mean, you can make
Dill.
hot pickles, hot dill pickles. Yeah. Put a little pepper in there, like your sardine can with the pepper in it.
Yep. Just drop a jalapeno in there and pickle it with let it sit.
Yeah, and that pickle will absorb some of that heat.
Oh, it. Tell you what, those sardines. Ooh.
I'll eat a little green bell pepper in tragic meatloaf, but other than that, I don't get much. I mean, occasionally I ate something not too long ago that had some red pepper in it.
Right.
The hot stuff I try and avoid for the most part because it messes with me too much. I mean, not a lot, but I just prefer not to be messed with indigestion after I eat something.
I could tolerate it like 20 years ago. Now it gets to me a little while ago, and I don't eat as hot of stuff as I used to. I mean, I used to eat habaneros and stuff, and rarely will I do a habanero sauce or something anymore.
I thought about Brussels sprouts, but just were sure we would have the room. Yeah, Brussels sprouts stink when you cook them. They Brussels sprouts. I just never liked. My father liked them, but I never liked the smell of them. I never would touch them.
Mm.
You're gonna
I love those.
replant whatever grew best. Yeah, yeah, experimentation, all trial and error, right? Yeah. I got to see a little bit of garden. Larry Talbot that works with me, he's got a little area on the side of his house. He's got like cabbage, onions, tomatoes. He's already got some tomatoes uh, coming up, blooming up, whatever, creating fruit. Let's put it that way. Tomato is a fruit.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a different setup. Maybe an over the chair cam because of the way I draw.
Right.
So that people can see what I'm drawing. Maybe an over the because this downward and maybe you can adjust it. I just the way I like to hold things and
Wow.
manipulate them or use my drawing board. It's still probably at a 45-degree angle to get
Well, you
perspective
seem,
right and right, whatever. But
you seem
maybe
to hold it.
something
I got.
I need to get
It.
a
Like,
better ergonomic chair at some point.
let me show you. It's
Bone
my
says they
husband.
don't smell but are delicious. I hated
Yeah,
Brussels
I like.
sprouts as a kid because they were always boiled and stunk so bad. Yeah, same here. I
Yeah,
never
no,
would give one a try. Hell no. Little bitty mini
we
cabbage.
casserole out of them. With Brussels sprouts, cheese, like a little sauce for the base, like a tuna
Mm-hmm.
mushroom or something, and then those crispy little fried onions on top and stuff, too, and some bacon bits. Yeah, buddy.
Well,
Here we go.
they gave my mother, salad one day,
Can,
and
can you see?
I had not seen this before. You mentioned the crunchy onions on top.
Yeah,
Like you put in a green bean casserole.
yeah,
Uh,
just like that. Okay.
they
Can you
had
see this?
the crunchy. Oh yeah,
You see that's got your
okay.
little
The light,
phone,
yeah, little tripod. Yeah.
phone right here. You got a ring light on the top, and then you can adjust this up and
Hmm.
down, adjust the angle and everything on the head. So, and then you can adjust the angle and everything on your phone and stuff too when it's in here. So however you want to. But those are only, I don't know, like $15, $16 or something like that. I think I got this one off
Yeah.
of Temu. But it's even got like three colors of lights on it. You got regular white, like a warm, and then more of a like a blue tinted kind of, depending on what you're working on, I guess.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. I mean, I can't use my old phone. I can use it as a camera, though. I
Yeah,
can't
there's
use it
some things.
for anything else, really. So yeah,
So
I could,
you,
I
you
could
could
do
clip it
something
into
like
one.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Mrs. G says roast the Brussels sprouts in the oven, brushed with a little bacon grease.
That's it.
Bacon makes everything taste better. You know, I'm convinced of that.
Just a bit of rum.
uh,
That one of them little tiny bottles of rum. That's cool.
a lot of people use like extra virgin olive oil and stuff like that too. But yeah, that bacon grease actually is going to infuse some of that with some pretty nice taste. Uh, Still looking for a good barbecue place around here. Nobody has good barbecue since that place in Wynn closed, really. I know his brother, which is the closest to what he had, although he makes his slaw regular. What made this so good is that it was a vinegary slaw that was a mustard like slaw, and that's good. That's about the only cabbage I eat is on a barbecue, and I usually try them out because a lot of people make this sloppy, get the butt soaked, mayonnaise. Blood. I don't like mayonnaise. You know, light on the slaw is what I say. And even though you say light on the slaw, some of it just slide. And if they do, I just scrape it off. But
What do you like the vinegar based slaw?
yeah, this and when he made like a mustard vinegary, and I know he shared some of his secret. I know he had the big old restaurant shot salt and pepper shakers. He
Mm-hmm.
put some type of his secret really was putting some type of salad dressing in there
Hmm.
with it, but it was a mustard slaw, and it was good with that. That's all you need. You don't with a barbecue, you don't need sauce. Now I like sauce, okay, and most barbecue is with sauce. But if you got
I
your hickory smoked or whatever smoked meat, and you got a good vinegary slaw on top, that's all you need. Oh, it's so good.
mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Got my mouth watering right now.
yeah. A nice
Just think,
brisket. Yeah, you don't even need the sauce, but it's nice if they got a good sauce. I like it. I'll have it every few bites or whatever. I don't have it on the whole sandwich.
yeah, yeah, yeah. When trying a new place with barbecues, I just say uh, cautionary. Light on the slaw, and if I like the slaw with it, then I'll come back for more later. But I always tell them light on the slaw because some of them like to give you way too much slaw for the meat that you have and bun ratio. I don't
Sometimes they
like
go a
a
little crazy.
soggy bun. Usually they make this stuff up and the liquid and everything in a plastic tote, at least around here, right? And it's just
Right?
soggy, you know, made up of the day coleslaw, for the most part. But some of them do use like mayonnaise and no, I don't want anything to do with mayonnaise. Sorry, that's just me. My favorite condiment is mustard anyway. Uh, Now there's a place in Memphis years ago that did pig ears with mustard on a bun, and that's all it was like boiled pig ears. Uh, you'd think there's a lot of fat in that, but I bet there's a lot of flavor in that. Uh, Steam pressed, I think, like pressure cooked, you know. Uh, but I would actually even try that. Believe it or not, I would try that. It looked pretty good in the magazine that we made. They had I've shown it on here multiple times. Magazine that I helped make when I worked at World Color that talked about barbecue in the South. South Carolina, North Carolina, whatever, uh, Texas, Memphis. They all claim to have the best barbecue. What I object to is in Memphis they have like a big barbecue festival, but you can't get any good barbecue. You can't buy any with money. You got to buy tickets. You got to buy coupons or whatever and buy your barbecue like that. But most of the barbecue that's for sale is substandard. All the good stuff is up there being judged, and you don't even get to try. They don't make.
Yeah.
I saw this one smoker though that could hold over 1,000 chickens. Could hold like 6 sides of beef, so many pigs. It was a massive smoker, mobile smoker.
Mm-hmm.
Had all these hooks on it and stuff. You could do 1,000 chickens at one time.
That's,
Wow.
I mean, I don't even know where. I mean, I guess there's not big enough events where you'd use that. 1,000 chickens? God damn.
Yeah. I drive an hour and a half for the best barbecue in South Florida. My favorite is the Burnt Ends.
Oh, yeah, I love the burnt ends. Oh,
Yeah. Now I had some burnt ends and went across, thought I would try their barbecue. And I think I told you at the time it was carcinogenic and fatty, fat. It was not good burnt ends. There's an art to good charring of the meat right on the outside. There's an art to that.
yeah.
I would
What?
buy when we were in college. Uh, Elsie and my mutual friend, uh, Charles Crane. He had 7 kids and a wife, so big family, right? And
Mm-hmm.
he was an artist, and he was taking philosophy. He got his major in philosophy. He got his degree in philosophy. Not very useful getting a job. He could have been a lawyer because he had an endemic mind. He could remember anything once he read it,
Right.
But we would get a brisket. He shared a brisket, and then after that, I kind of went and searched for brisket. First time I'd really tried brisket that I knew of, and I would get a brisket and put it in the bottom of his broiler, and they'd be cooking while we talked and did art or whatever. And then once it was done, everybody got brisket. That's when I was working at Mexican place out of high school. Ponchos. Spice up your life. Spice up your life. Spice up your life with ponchos. They're out of Memphis. I think they still make the ponchos dip, and there's still some ponchos around. Ours here. Somebody threw a cigarette out in the mulch and burned the wall or something. I don't know. They scrapped the whole place. But yeah, I worked there straight out of high school. First, as a dishwasher, and then became a cook. Graduated up to cook finally.
Ooh, okay.
Washing those dishes all night. Big Laredo plates, because we got actual plates that have to be washed.
Right.
And then the cheese dip cups and the hot dip cups and stuff like that. Those 3.5 years that I worked there, I ate so many of the chips. I never ate any of the dip, but I could eat those chips, man.
They make them fresh in your house?
No, it was all. Yeah. Now we would make the guacamole fresh. I've made guacamole, but it's amazing to me while preparing guacamole how quickly the avocados can brown.
Oh yeah.
While you're making it, they're turning darker. They're browning. But I'd cut them around the big pit, and then take my knife and go, into the pit, and take the pit out, and of course, peel it, the skin off, and everything. And yeah, we had a certain recipe. I made guacamole more than once. Once I started cooking, food prep was part of that. Even our meat was like, I don't know, maybe over a pound. I don't know. It's like a round, like one of those round hams, about like that. And it was all frozen, grease. You could see the grease was all, the spices or whatever. It came all pre-prepared. You could heat up some of that meat with chips, and I go to town on that. I don't need cheese dip or hot dip or any of that stuff. Just the meat alone with chips was good, My first wife was a waitress, and I was a busboy, and then later a cook.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's where we kind of met, unfortunately. It's
So,
true, folks. I'm not going to candy coat it for you, okay? Like Brussels sprouts and grease drippings, bacon drippings. Not going to candy coat. I've got a couple onions in there now. I may have to bust one of those out and just roast it, in the with some butter and salt just by itself.
hmm
I bought them for onion rings, and made onion rings till my mixture batter ran out or whatever. I did some pickles too. I really like fried
Oh,
pickles. Uh,
yeah, I remember you were okay there for a while.
yeah, I mean, when Texas Roadhouse came in, they're kind of greasy. They kind of do the chips, the round chips.
Right. hmm
They don't like do like the long, or anything.
Yeah, they do the chips.
But I tell you what, one of my favorite meals though is a roast. My mother would, and I never learned really how she got that flour to stay on there on the potatoes. Is put it in the slow cooker, man, the
Uh,
drippings, and just give me a couple slices of bread and the drippings. Oh my gosh, oh heaven! And I would eat, carrots and potatoes out of that with the meat. Oh,
oh, yeah.
good onion. I don't think mom always put onion in there, but onion's okay. When I was a little kid, I didn't want onions on my hamburger, but my father would always order me how he liked his burger. So I probably ate my burger like he liked it, like mustard, pickle, and onion. And I thought the onion, like a lot of kids, for some reason, this is how they describe onions. I've heard other kids say this too. It's hot. Onions are hot
Yeah.
to kids. They
hmm
taste hot. So I didn't want onions on there, but occasionally I get onions, and I've learned that's how I like it. The number one food in America, really popular food in America, are burgers, hamburgers, by far.
Yeah.
Yeah, pizza's popular, but I mean burgers went out. And the reason I said that is I was looking at some of those things on YouTube last night. Like what's uh, what are what's the number one problem in every state? And Arkansas just happened to be in the thumbnail, and it said slow internet for Arkansas. And I said I can attest to that. Compared to the rest of the country, we probably got slow internet. You know, uh, but
But
like
bones
Mel Gibson,
done.
every his salary for every movie or the oldest celebrities in Hollywood, you know, things
Right.
like that are all over YouTube. Uh, one I looked at was the age of animals, how long they live.
Yeah. That's cool.
Some of the
I heard.
parrots, live a long time.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to
Shark,
wrap it up.
okay. Wrap it up.
Um,
I'll take it.
that's it. Have a good night, everybody. Hello, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bone says, I still don't like raw onions on my food. Yeah. Uh, I just make sure they're goodly washed. I think Shadow said they're in the raw state, they're prone to be like parasites or little bugs on them that you can't see or something. Just make sure they're washed well. But yeah, I get that. Every now and then I like raw onion on my burger to give it a little kick. And some of that onion messes with me later, but it's a good little indigestion type thing. Um, I never did like the leek like onions, the long onions that you eat with fish. I never was a fan of that. As an adult, I still don't eat it, but I might eat some of it. You know, basically, you take the tops, and cut them, and you got chives, basically, right? Uh, see, if you want good ratings, talk food. My mouth is watering here. I'll probably after the broadcast go to Aldi and get some bagels, cream cheese, or maybe a pizza for tonight. Uh, get paid tomorrow. Woohoo! Have to wait till the bank opens at 8, but you know, not going out tonight. Might do a stream later tonight. This seems to be working well with putting the fan on the side here. Hopefully, Haldir will have that mini PC for me here pretty soon. Uh, he'll let me know. In fact, I probably need to go over there and check and see if he. But now, when I sent Shadow, he didn't send me a message. So apparently, he hadn't mailed it yet. I don't know, but or hadn't sent me a message anyway. But hopefully, I'll have that here pretty soon. Everything be copacetic. Uh, but yeah, I'd like to do a little draw string, get a little drawing in or something. I don't know. Still trying to finish up the last few discs of Ben 10. I think I'm on the last disc now, and I've got one that I'm kind of completing upstairs as well on another. I by and large been watching them in order, which is a good thing because there are continued storylines or reoccurring characters or whatnot in that. And there's one of the movies that I haven't watched that's in 3D, not 3D, really 3D, but 3D modeling and everything that I haven't watched. But I may go watch that on the weekend with John or something. He was curious about the movies. And there's one live action movie that they did with Ben 10 that's not in the set. So is it really the complete set without that movie? Of course, that might be in an extra or something, but I'm one of those that have been checking the extras for every disc, and I haven't seen it yet. You would have thought that they would have put that on the packaging. So, but for the most part, I'm just glad the discs are good. There was one disc early on, maybe it's the third disc out of the set or something, that had a little stop for a second, and I've got it on a brand new DVD player. So I hear that Walmart is going to start carrying VHS, start carrying VHS tapes again. Maybe kind of like they do LPs. I don't get that at all, but I saw something on that they were going to have VHS tapes available. I can't imagine that when they're downsizing their physical media, period. Has anybody seen that new Predator movie? I haven't. But, some of the stuff that I've missed, especially the Marvel stuff, I go over to John's house and we watch some of it. I've been watching The Mandalorian. I'm on season 2 now of that. Seems pretty solid to me. I mean, Nerderotic and others, they criticize stuff. That I get it. They make some valid points. I know Doctor Who is dead. The latest on new Doctor Who being discovered, maybe a couple episodes, nothing officially released yet from the people working with the collectors that might have films out there that have been lost for decades. Maybe the only copies left in the world of those episodes. And I know a lot of people are cheering for the return of the long 12 episode arc of, it's one of the Dalek ones, Master, I can't remember. I'm sorry about that, but it's been a while since I've actually delved into my Doctor Who. But I try and keep up on that. And I am excited, and especially if they come up with a couple episodes from a 4-episode arc called The Smugglers, which was one of the last ones that the original Doctor did. And it really is a nice pirate sort of smuggling, story, historical story. Not a lot of historical commentary in that, but it's something that did go on along the coastline of England and other places, and still goes on today. Piracy, but very good, solid storyline. they've hinted that maybe a couple, and one of my favorite Doctor Who's, early Doctor Who's, the Smugglers, really like that story, um, and would like to see a couple actual episodes from something that's missing all the episodes. And I've only heard the original audio from the BBC. Try not to support the BBC, but I do buy the official Doctor Who audio stuff, um, and the American release tapes, and some of the Australian, because some of the Australian has some special stuff on there that you can only get through Australia, and then some of the UK as well, simply because it's cheaper. Some of that physical media, but now that they've re-released a lot of the Doctor Who tapes, the price of the American versions that were the only versions out there have went down drastically, and I've gotten like War Games. War Games was expensive. I got 2 copies of it now. I've had 2 copies of it. The one where the second Doctor came back and was with the sixth Doctor, the one that was so colorful, Colin Baker. Um, when he and Jamie McCrimmon came back, Fraser when he came back. Uh, his actual name's Fraser, but when they came back in the '80s for an arc, a story arc that had the Santarans, if I believe in it. Those are the guys that look like Mr. Potato Head. Anyway, um, that was an expensive one of the most expensive ones, about $175 to get an original. They just didn't release them in America for very long, and to play it on an American DVD player. Of course, if you get a regional, you know, but it's nice to be able to pop this in any American DVD player. And I don't care what they say, different units are going to have different problems. You know, I had a multi-regional player, and it had problems with some of the Marvel movies that they release, and there was no reason why, but it seemed like I get a new Marvel movie, and I'd be like, maybe 2/3 would play, maybe a third. You know, the occasional one wouldn't play on it. So I've got a multi-regional in there. It's a little bit more than that other unit wore. The other unit was very simple. It was only about this big, and I really need to go on there and try and find me another one. Didn't take that much room. I enjoyed it. It finally played out. Uh, Probably need to get. I mean, most things are going to streaming. You know, they've entered the 21st century, uh, and I'm still not there yet. I still like physical media. You know, I still like records. I have some records, but unfortunately, I've lost a lot. You know, uh, even had doubles of some, like that Silver Surfer album that came out with John Byrne artwork. I had 2 copies of that. One opened, one unopened. Had Bob Dylan's first record. I bought it back when I was going to college. Somebody had a copy that had only been played like 3 times. Still had the original, like 4 or 5 mil. It was thick, plastic sleeve on it. I mean, no scuffs and whatnot. Paid the going rate at that time, about $75 for it. But I thought, you know, this would be a good collectible. Well, now it's less than slag. I mean, that fire got hot. You know, I had my couch springs that were there, and then I had a bookbinder. I was talking about this with sort of a crank bookbinder, and what it was you buy uh, the covers that were hardback, and they were embossable, and down the spine was this long, basically staple, you know, but they were about this long, and there were a bunch of them left in the fire. But you would crimp that, you know, by physically, you know, you put your pages in there, jog them down, put them in there. It held about 150 pages, if you had like typing paper, very thin paper. So, but you could make your own drawing journals and whatnot, and they were embossable. I was thinking about publishing my own books even then, and embossing like the flash symbol on the red, or, because I had like blue, black, green, red covers, whatnot. And the only thing that survived, one of the only things that survived were those big staples. Yeah, I had bought a surplus of covers to do in the future. I'd only bound one or two books, and I was just in the process of buying and building up, because I thought, who knows how long they're going to be. This is kind of a niche thing, and I've looked into binders recently with my sister, and you can't hardly find anything like that anymore. It was really neat. You could just by doing it about 3 times, you could crimp that around the pages, and you'd have a hardback book. It was uh, quite nice buying your own hardback books, and they were embossable. I never tried to have one embossed, but they were embossable. They said so. And came in a variety of different colors. I just tried to get a selection of all the different colors that they had, with no particular game plan in mind. You I might have had Zigzag that's on our magnet. I might have had him then. Zigzag goes back a little ways, you know. Uh, Maybe not that far. I can't remember. That was mid 90s. No, well, 97 to be exact. Uh, Timothy Olson in the house. How do they work? Well, you stick them on something metal and they stick. What can I say? But there's the magnets we got made, rounded corners, momentum concepts right there. That's what you got. That's what every backer's going to get. It's pretty good size. Timothy Austin says I'm hearing that Melvin Four and the trade paperback will be available tomorrow. Ah, so what does the trade paperback have in it, Timothy Austin? One, two, and three. That's nice that you have those books that you can combine into one. In fact, I might just score on one of those trade paperbacks if you get a trade paperback, and then you probably have to buy four. And how many pages did that? 0 through 4. You did a 0 issue. Okay. Well, we'll have to have you on and talk about that, Timothy. In fact, if you're available now, you can come on and talk about it now. I brought it back, baby. Okay. Well, that's cool that you got that many issues done. So you can buy Melvin Four only in the trade paperback or separate, and you got I take it the trade paperback as 0 through 4, and that's how you get the fourth. That's good. Sure, send me the link. I'll just drop it in the chat. How's that? Would that work for you? Be quicker. Melvin Ford should be in the trade. That's good. Well, I'm interested in the trade. I actually am. And you say that it's going to be available tomorrow. That's good. I get paid tomorrow. I can buy my Melvin 1 through 4 and catch up with Melvin completely. And then, of course, I've got the original issues that had to be redrawn. So it'll be interesting to see Rob Ewing and other artists' work that you've had, redo, uh, the artwork for. It'll be interesting to see that in one book. I like trade paperbacks. I like to catch up on. I like floppies. Okay, I still buy floppies, but I do like to catch, whole runs almost like binge watching. I see you got a new icon too.
Yeah, man. 2021 is when I had my first, I think, full campaign, and I'm still making books this year, current year 2026. So that's been like 5 years. 5 years in the game.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
I've been planning this out for 3 or 4 years myself. Mine.
So where's Devil Flyer? Is it out yet, or are you just kind
No,
of like?
we just got the magnets in today. This was the second stretch
Oh,
go.
cool.
I've
Magnet.
got all the um, and these are substantial magnets. Whatever you stick them to, they're going to stick. Kind of like
Yeah.
the two magnets.
They do
that
come
we have.
off. I mean, that is also you can take
Oh, they
magnets
do
off.
come off. Yeah, they
Oh,
might
but
take
they-
your freezer door with it, but yeah, they will come off. Yeah,
That's a little
they
too
may
strong
like
there.
fuse. They may fuse to the body. I actually, to demonstrate one of those, because I gave one to a coworker today, and took one over to my mother and slapped it right on the side of her mini fridge, so she can
Yeah.
point to that and say, "My brother, my son, made that." You know, Rob Ewing artwork, and I know you know.
Oh, Rob is fantastic.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to use him more this year, but yeah,
Awesome.
Rob did that. Yeah, and
Yeah. So what I heard, and this is why I got this is the message I got, that it's past the editing process. So I should hear from RJ tomorrow about it. So he said no later than tomorrow. So
well, hopefully you can come in after work and let us know if it's available. If it is, I'll go on there if I have the means.
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't have a credit card. How do you have to pay for stuff like on
De-
Amazon?
Debit card. You can use a debit card.
Okay, I got a bank debit card. Yeah, so I'll. And what's the price going to be on the trade paperback?
See, I do not know. It's not up yet, so I don't know.
You don't know yet. Okay.
I don't know yet.
So,
It's not
but you will be getting 5 issues. You'll be getting
5 issues.
0 issue,
Everything I've
1
done.
through 4.
Yeah.
And 4 though is brand new. Nobody's seen
4 is brand new. It's not, it's the only thing in the trade that wasn't crowdfunded. It's all out of my pocket. Old school DIY there. You know.
So you
Of course.
did Melvin 3? You did crowdfund Melvin 3?
Yeah, Melvin 3, Melvin 0, Melvin 1 and 2.
Okay.
They were all
Did
through
you start
crowdfunding.
with the 0 issue?
No, I started with 1.
Okay.
And it's kind of
Well,
like
that's why after this one, Devil Flyer, well, all we like, Omer right now is designing the back of the last
really?
trading card, the
Oh,
last
okay.
stretch code, the midnight
he's a good
trading card.
artist.
Yeah, he's doing me a coat. He's done me a coat, and we're going to
A
cross them
coat?
like that. We'll just flop it
I
like
pay for
Outlaw
good.
Josie Wells coat, you know, the old coats
All right,
for
right,
the
right.
Civil War. And
Right.
and then it'll have some filigree around the edge of it. And I don't
Oh.
know what else. We'll do rounded edges on that, like
Okay,
what was
okay.
done on the magnets there, rounded edges.
That sounds
and
cool.
Rounded corners, rather, so that it looks like a playing card. And I think we're going to put some bullet holes in it.
Oh yeah, nothing that looks cooler than
Yeah.
Oh, Bo says he only has Melvin number 1. Well, you're in luck. That trade will have like 0, will have 2, will have 3. It'll have 4. It'll have a mini fridge tucked inside. It'll have a pile of gold. No, I won't have any of those things.
Well, it seems like in the early 90s, they started doing the 0 issues after a long run sometimes, or these half issues became a thing.
Yeah.
Ash cans became a thing. I've already done an ash can. So my next Devil Flyer is going to be Devil Flyer 0. It's going to be a 0 issue. And then after that, I'm going to do a half issue. And when you count that up with Devil Flyer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so when we get to the 6th issue, the title is going to be something like The Ninth Hour. Well, why the Ninth Hour? Because by then, that'll be the 9th Devil Flyer book that you will have. And that'll be the climax of the story.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Because I mean, I'm including this one shot. So we got the ash can. The ash can's separate, but you've got the one shot, which really begins the saga, and then you'll have a 0 half issue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll be 9 issues. So the 9th hour, which and really it really wraps up and concludes.
To answer Bo's question here, for some reason in America, Melvin number 2 is out of print, but everything is available still through Amazon. If you, that's why I had to switch out the link with straight to the Critical Blast website.
And I have to give a shout out to Rob Ewing. He's the one that did this logo for you, right? Did the
Yeah,
did
yeah,
the
yeah. I
drawing?
took, I took it and I had it made into like a Misfit style logo
Yeah.
without the skull, of course.
He's a hard guy to communicate with sometimes. He's
Oh, he got
very
stuff
busy
going
guy.
on. Yeah, he got
He's
stuff
got a
going
lot
on.
of stuff going on. He was traveling one time when I contacted him. He's uh, but I paid him for past work recently. Just an update to everybody. So he's totally paid up, and I've approached him about doing a sort of like Jimmy Reyes did on this campaign, because I'm thinking down the line, my next book's going to be the unseen artwork of John Buscema, but I won't launch that. Hopefully later this year after I get Devil Flyer out to everybody. Um, I won't launch that till it is 100% done, because you've had to wait on this one. You won't have to wait on the Buscema book. And then we'll go straight, depending on how that book does for us, on all three platforms, and eventually Amazon, Books a Million, Barnes and Noble, and places like that.
Awesome.
Is Melvin available just on Amazon, or have you gotten it into like
Barnes and Noble and Walmart. Those are the other two
At
places.
Walmart? Okay. And Books a Million, I guess, would be an
I've
option. Or are they still around?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
even know if they're still around.
I swear I've seen them floating around on other websites too. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean that's like the same formula. They're going to go on Amazon.
One benefit from that, I remember, in the UK, you had people buy your book and get it like 2 days later in the UK.
Yeah,
and they didn't have to pay all that
somebody got
shipping.
it like the next day.
Yeah, that was Katie. She bought
That's
a copy,
Katie, yeah,
I think.
yeah.
And
She
she
bought- I think
really was praising it pretty highly that she didn't have to pay all that shipping that normally comes with crowdfunding. And,
Yeah.
everything. So,
Yep. So,
So, yeah,
things are. Oh, I'm
Good.
going to be at Retro X next month, and then there's a few other events I'm going to be doing through June and July. So
well, that's good that you're getting it out there. Do you have like a convention set up? Do you rent a table all by yourself, or do you?
I kind of have to. I don't have people working with me yet. So
Well, I mean, you sometimes people share half a table,
occasionally
You
I
know,
can do. Yeah.
and that kind of shares the cost. I'm like you. I would probably have to. Caleb Reynolds saying hi to you.
Sup, Caleb? But occasionally I'll have people help me set up like the event at Captain Comics, which was during
Mhm.
Free Comic Book Day.
You ever
Would-
bump into any other creators that's kind of online? And you
Not
know of?
online, but there was another creator there selling their books. There was a lot of Star Wars cosplayers at that comic book shop and lines around the store. So that was kind of cool.
Have you seen the new Star Wars movie?
I did. I went to go see it. It was actually not that bad.
What did you think about the series? Did you see the series?
I seen the series. It's pretty good. I mean, it was better compared to the second Star Wars trilogy, which that second movie in that trilogy just tanked that whole thing. That was just so bad. It's so
Now,
bad.
do you watch the animated Star Wars
I haven't. I really
like
Yeah, I think-
like Star Wars Rebels?
Yeah, I've seen those. I think the animation style is pretty unusual. Just
What blew my mind was I went over John's and he actually gave me the first season of Ahsoka to watch.
that was
And
a
if
good
you
one.
now I've gotten all, yeah, but you really have had to have watched all 4 seasons of Rebels to know what's the characters. That's
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
wild.
yeah.
These characters started out as animated characters, and now they went to a live action with the characters. That's a switch. I'm like, wow. I wasn't But if you didn't watch the animated, like all Star Wars fans probably don't watch some of the animated, but I don't know why they wouldn't. Like Cartoon Network had the Clone Wars and stuff that was pretty good with Yoda in there and everything.
You have to admit that like those recent cartoons, recent years are probably better than what they had in the 80s.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I would
yeah.
argue that if they upped the maturity level for droids, it would be an Adult Swim cartoon.
Now, one thing that I watched recently, I don't know, Timothy, you mentioned Adult Swim, was the Venture Brothers. Have you seen the Venture Brothers?
Yeah, I think I had the first season on DVD.
Yeah, I bought the fourth season to try it out. But now they've got the collection.
Yeah.
All, what was it, 6 seasons, 7 seasons? So,
Yeah.
Anyway, I watched all of it. The first
Pretty
one I had to
funny.
return because it had a bad disc on it, you know. So then I had to go through it. I went through the Venture Brothers twice, basically.
Yeah. What about, have you seen Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law?
I saw some of that when it was originally on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
I have not seen all the episodes. I enjoyed it, kind of like Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Oh yeah.
They've got down there at Walmart, they've got all the Courage the Cowardly Dog episodes. I think there's like 56 episodes of that. And those are funny. I've got a few of those recorded because I used to record a lot of that stuff off Cartoon Network.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, like Courage the Cowardly Dog and Powerpuff Girls and all that stuff was like first generation of the new stuff they were coming in, you know, because the very first 3 years of Cartoon Network, all they did was like replay all like Johnny Quest and Herculoids and all that old Hanna-Barbera stuff, which I thought was cool.
I barely remember.
I
barely remember that stuff. I know that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, some of it I'd forgotten about too because I was extremely young when it was on TV, you know. But it made an impression on me, and I saw superheroes all over the TV on the '60s, and about the '70s came around. All you had was Super Friends. Filmation would do some live action stuff.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know if it was. It might have been Saturday mornings or something, but really early they would have like reruns of Super Friends, or if you got home from school fast enough, you'd see like Yogi Bear.
And in the mid '80s, they brought in like Firestorm. They brought in Cyborg from the New Teen Titans. Into the Super Friends, so that was kind of different, you know.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
But remember,
Comanche
Chief couldn't enlarge because he burnt himself on the Winter Blend.
Yeah. I think they had something like that in Venture Brothers where a guy was like supposed to be demonstrating his powers, and it was kind of like Apache Chief. And all he did was, did you see me grow an inch or two? He was up on his tippy toes. He got rejected. But yeah, the Venture Brothers, a good spoof on a lot of different stuff.
Especially Johnny Quest. They were really ripping hard on Johnny Quest.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. And I would say traditionally drawn, very expensive. They spent $100,000 per episode on that. That's why you only got one season of it.
Oh, yeah. Wow, it's crazy.
It was the most expensive cartoon at the time. Mm-hmm. But they did a hell of a job. Now, when you look at it by today, it's a little janky, but especially Mr. Thundercats over here.
Well, I mean, yeah,
G.I. Joe and all that. He-Man.
Yeah, was it?
He-Man might be a little early for you, even.
He-Man. I remember He-Man. He-Man. I had like Castle Grayskull. I had He-Man. I had Battle Cat. I had all that stuff.
Yeah. Why am I not surprised? But you know, you had your stuff. I had my stuff. I still got my G.I. Joes, the big ones with actual.
Oh, the big ones. Yeah, the ones that didn't have any like name or profile or just. He's just Marine.
Well, and the one where you pull a cord, like enemy planes hit the deck. That's the only one I can remember. That was my favorite.
Yeah.
Enemy planes hit the deck.
Now in the
Now-
80s,
Now
the reason
Bullet
why they
goes,
came up with that stuff is because they found that American children want stories and names with the characters they have, so that that's why they wrote the Transformers, GI Joe. Vietnam was still pretty unpopular, so they had to kind of make them look sort of like superheroes.
And I think you were a big Robotech person too, weren't you?
Robotech, yeah, I remember that was on Sundays with Star Blazers and Speed Racer.
Yeah, some of them are on Sundays. Not your part of your Saturday morning.
Yeah, they're kind of off the beaten path.
Have you seen the X-Men '97? I've heard that's good.
I've heard, I haven't seen it. I think I saw clips of the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've even taken time to watch that on YouTube. They probably got a trailer or something for it. But,
yeah.
I've been out of the game recently, but we're back now every day.
He's back. Watch out now.
I'm back. Look out. Yeah. Hong Kong Phooey, #1 super guy.
Yeah.
With Scatman Crothers doing the voice,
Scatman Crothers, huh?
That was a fun one I watched back in the mid '70s. I've got the complete collection. Believe it or not, I didn't watch Thundercats beyond an episode or two with, maybe some of my friends' kids.
Right.
I caught some G.I. Joe episodes as well. But I've got the original complete Thundercats collection, and I've got the remake that they made in the early 2000s.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Both are pretty good.
Yeah.
The second series was not too bad. I liked it. I have not watched those in a while, but I did enjoy them when I first went through them because I was, had not watched Thundercats since it was on TV in the 80s.
I think when I was a kid, I had a Mumbra action figure.
Yeah, he's pretty neat.
You had to press the button. You pressed the button, and he made his arms go like he was like beating up on somebody. I don't know.
Yeah. We just had G.I. Joe with Kung Fu Grip. I never had one of those, by the way. And I never had the Bullet Man character either. Or you had a big monster type guy, and you had Sasquatch, I think. I never had him. He would have been nice to have. Bigfoot. Because he was big in the storylines,
Which storyline was that?
In Bionic Man.
Oh, Bionic Man. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Stephanie Powers kind of controlled him, was an alien and kind of controlled the Sasquatch robot. And it was first played by Andre the Giant in the first episode. And then subsequently after that, and I thought he looked a little better in the makeup and made it better, it was Ted Cassidy that played Lurch in Addams Family.
I often argued that the Addams Family was better than the Monsters.
And he had that deep voice too, where he could growl.
Lurch,
It was better than Andre the Giant. But the original Bigfoot making the first appearance, and then later, they had some Saturn probe or something.
Oh, did they?
And if you got one of those in the box, those weren't out that long. That was kind of in the waning years, like maybe the 5th series, the last series. If you got that toy in the box, I've seen a thing on YouTube of that. It's worth some money, maybe about $1,500 or so.
Yeah, a lot of things are that weren't worth money are somehow worth a lot of money.
Well, if my problem is none of my stuff is still in the box. If I'd kept the boxes, and that's with any toy, going back to Flash Gordon back in the 30s, which was the first big merchandise toy, even before Superman came out. In fact, Flash Gordon's kind of the godfather of, the Johnny Appleseed of toy merchandising and stuff.
Yeah.
But like you could get his spaceship, but it's worth a lot more if it's in the box, even if the box is in pretty bad shape, because it's from back in the mid 30s.
Right.
Really, it took them by surprise. They released the first Buster Crab Flash Gordon Saves the Universe movie serial, and they actually added 5 episodes to it. I think it was supposed to be 10 chapters, and it was so popular with people. People were flocking to go see it to see
Oh,
these.
you mean the one where you had to go? We had to come. You had to keep going back to see what happened. Like, oh, this
Yes,
week was
the
part two.
movies. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They love to see, even though it was on strings, they love to see the spaceships and stuff for the very first time. It was kind of the Star Wars of its day, believe it or not. And uh, the guy that played Ming the Merciless, he kind of inherited money. I don't know. He was a millionaire. He didn't need to. He just kind of like he enjoyed acting, and that's what he did. Um, I've seen him in a couple other things and go, "Ooh, that's Ming the Merciless." But he's mostly known for Ming the Merciless. Bone
Oh, that's
says, "I'm about to head out. I'm driving up to Cape Canaveral. I'm going to watch a couple of rocket launches tomorrow with my brother. It's a 3-hour drive. I'm taking my
that
cat
sounds
with me."
pretty
Cool.
neat. That's
Absolutely.
fun.
And with that, we're both going to get out of here. Thanks,
All right,
Timothy Olsen, for coming on.
no
Been good to talk
problem.
to
I
you.
enjoyed it.
And I am excited to come back and let us know if it's available on Amazon. I will actually buy that trade paperback. Absolutely. I've
Oh,
been
you'll enjoy it. I
looking
hope you
forward.
do.
Well, I like floppies, but I really like that. Some of the crowdfunders have made enough issues that they can put it all in one volume. I'd
Yeah,
prefer
it's
that.
not.
So,
It's quite an achievement. I didn't think I'd ever have a trade of anything I made. So quite the achievement.
Bone says there's a SpaceX rocket. I in Devil Flyer, there's a character that I've named after Bone. He's called Bone. Uh,
Legs
Ryan
and
James
harmony.
is. But have fun and have fun with your cat, Bone. I assume that's your cat right there,
Eh.
or a former loved one. Uh, I don't know, Timothy. I think you figured it out. Abby passed away in January,
Oh, I'm
so I don't.
sorry. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, January 26th on our 13th anniversary. I had to have her
Damn.
euthanized because she was
Oh.
bad shape. Tried
It's-
everything I could
yeah.
to
Well, God
limp her
bless you for
along, but
trying.
it was
Yeah.
congestive heart failure. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm missing her, but never can replace her. I got her buried out back here. Talk to
Oh,
her every day. In fact, I went to work today, picked up a rock from work and put it on her grave today. It's kind of muddy back there still.
right. Right.
Uh,
Right.
yeah, we're gonna get out of here, keep collecting, and we'll see you tomorrow on the 4 o'clock shadow.
Peace.
Maybe with some new news that the trade paperback Melvin 0 through 4 is out.
Yeah.
I want to
Check it
buy
out,
that thing.
y'all.
I
I'll
get
keep you
paid
posted.
tomorrow, so look out.
Look out. He's got money.
And I'm going to back Galaxy Memorial Park. Check out Galaxy Memorial Park. It's out there on Fun My Comic now. Of course, launching every Memorial Day. Anyway, enjoy your evening. I've got the evening off, so I'm going
Yay, party.
to party. That's right. I'm going to go get a pizza, maybe some ice cream.